Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host Rob Bentley and thanks for tuning in. On today's show we'll talk men's basketball, we'll check in with women's basketball, and we'll update you on the GLIAC Track and Field Championships. First up, head coach Bill Sall with the men's basketball team. And coach, welcome back to the show. Exciting time of year, final week of the regular season.
It certainly is, Robert, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Two close games this past week. It seems like every game in the GLIAC North Division goes down to the wire, and certainly two hard-fought games. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs come out on the short end against Wayne State and Saginaw Valley State this past week. Yeah,
we did. I felt at times played good basketball, just not consistent basketball. Unfortunately, we weren't really able to get over that hump and try to beat two good teams.
We'll start off with Thursday's game at Wayne State as we go to the highlights, and it seems like every meeting with Wayne State here over the last few years has been a classic game, went down to the wire, final possessions, and certainly this one was much the same.
It really was, and it's interesting that that rivalry that we've had now with Wayne State has gotten to that point. I kind of look back, and in the last 6 games we've played, everyone has come down to the last possession, which is kind of amazing to think about as far as the games and how tight they've been and contested.
Bulldogs jumped out in front here early, but it was back and forth the whole way. Dietrich Lever with the lay-in try there, and Trent Messer had a great job on the boards.
He really did. It was an amazing game. A double-double, ended up with 11 rebounds, 10 points, and just really happy with his performance. Really carried us in a lot of possessions, which was really great to see.
The Bulldogs here in Detroit, and as we see this long outlet, Jabril Jackson off the bench with the basket, and certainly great crowd support for the Bulldogs down in Detroit as well.
You know, it always is. It's just kind of a neat thing. We have a number of guys that are from the east side of the state, and their families come and support, but also we have a ton of alums that always show up for this game, so it's always on everybody's calendar, that's for sure.
Knotted up going into the second half, and certainly a game of runs, and it seemed like Wayne State just made a few key plays at opportune times to be able to pull out the victory.
They really did. You know, their senior Ian Larkin, they just saw the dunk he had, really stepped up and played incredibly well. I was happy that the runs sometimes where you get a couple of points behind, we were able to continue to battle, which was great.
Bulldogs here still trying to battle. Josh Fleming with a big move here, and he had a nice game off the bench.
He really did, and Lever right there hits that shot, basically makes it a one-possession game. And again, we're in a scenario where we're playing them for that one last possession. Now, the three-pointer we had as time expired did not go in, but again, to get to that point, I was very happy with our performance overall. In a very good team in a really tough environment.
Wayne State was the divisional leader going in, a close race going in between Wayne State, Michigan Tech, Grand Valley, and Ferris, and certainly great at this stage of the year to be in a game like that really means something in terms of the conference standings.
Well, your first goal, no matter where you're at, is to playing games at the end of the year that are of importance. And the one thing is we certainly have been able to do that, and I think we have a lot of games looking ahead that will be important.
You come back on Saturday, taking on Saginaw Valley, regular season finale, at least at home, and chance to honor your two seniors, Kenny Brown and Daniel Sutherland, and two guys that have meant a great deal to the program.
Absolutely. You look at those two seniors and just look at their resumes. Two league championships, a Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament, and really been instrumental these last 4 years of really being two guys that have really helped us. And again, started out kind of in roles that might not have been as big, but then continued to build on what they were and really developed over their careers. As
we go to the highlights, obviously Kenny Brown, Daniel Sutherland honored before the game, and chance to get Danny in the game here. He's been out with an injury, but a chance to put him in here early in the contest.
You know, Dan has a broken foot, and we just wanted one opportunity to have him go in and play. He really wanted that, and we owed that to him. He almost made the shot, which would be kind of neat to see. But then, after that, it was time to get rolling, and this was a hard-fought game, a Saginaw Valley team that is vying to try to get a tournament spot. It came out really well, made some shots, and I thought kind of took control of the game in some situations, but just, we just couldn't quite get over that big hump. I think if we could have, I think they had eight points in the first 10 minutes. If we could have continued on that pace, I think we would have been able to go away, but they just kept on coming at us and probably didn't respond as well as I'd like to have seen our guys respond.
First meeting against Saginaw Valley, very close. Kenny Brown hits the buzzer beater, and saw him hit a shot there, back and forth again, and much like the first game, it seems like neither team really able to seize control.
No team was able to seize control. I think, we had some defensive lapses, which I was really disappointed in a couple of these possessions, things that we had gone over and our players knew. And again, we just struggled in a few of those areas. You can even see in the highlights a number of open looks from three, and You know, we've done very well at defending the three-pointer. So that was disappointing to see.
Kenny Brown, a couple big shots here in the second half, and Dietrich Lever, we've seen him get to the basket a few times. Certainly, he's another player that's stepped up and really made some plays here in the last few weeks.
Dietrich really has. His game is elevated in exactly what we need to see out of him. Just some big plays, really starting to put the team on his shoulders in those situations. A big shot right here that put us within 3 with an and one. You know, we were able to cut that gap down to 3 or 4 a couple of times, but again, just we're not able to get over that hump of what we had to do.
Heartbreaking loss for your team, final regular season home game and first conference loss at Wink Arena. I know that was something that meant a great deal to your players.
It really did. You know, I don't know how far back you have to go, but I'm sure you'd probably be able to dig that up for me. But it's been a long time since a team here at Ferris has gone undefeated in the regular season in league games, and you know, that'd have been nice to again another notch and be able to put that on our legacy. But you know, it didn't happen, and now it's really time to move on. A huge week this week, and you know, prepare ourselves for what's going to happen after that.
Bulldogs still a chance to get a home game here for the GLIAC tournament, but a big game coming up, regular season finale against Grand Valley State on Saturday down in Allendale, and certainly no need to motivate your team for this one on Saturday.
Well, we shouldn't have any trouble, I don't think. Again, playing for an awful lot of things. League rival, once again, our big rival, Grand Valley. But yeah, it looks like in the standings and how things are placed out, whoever wins that game has a great chance of hosting a first-round GLIAC game in the tournament. For us, it'd be nice to be able, after this season, 16 teams, be in the top 4. I think that'd be outstanding.
The Bulldogs taking on Grand Valley State second time this season. First game went down to the wire, final possession. You were able to pull out the win at home. What changes, what adjustments happen going in now to this game on the road?
We'll have to see. You know, the biggest thing is it's nice to have a week to prepare. I think for us, it gives us the ability to maybe put a few things in, maybe something that Grand Valley hasn't seen. And then also really, both teams know each other so well. So is there something else we can do or look at to possibly give our team a different look on the defensive end?
I know going on the road always tough in the GLIAC, and certainly your team has played better here on the road over the last few weeks. What are the challenges going into Allendale at the Grand Valley State Fieldhouse Arena?
Well, you know, I think the biggest one is, and I think will be key, when we've gone there and been successful, we shot the ball really well. You know, it's a different environment to shoot in, more of a fieldhouse atmosphere. You know, and to really match what their intensity is going to be, because again, it's going to be their senior night. They have a number of really good players. So, you know, we have to really match that intensity level. If we can do those things and really withstand that first storm, we'll be in great shape.
GLIAC tournament starts on March the 6th next week, and certainly the Bulldogs hoping to make a run in the conference tournament. Talk about the conference tournament. Who are the favorites going in? It seems like right now here on paper, anybody's tournament to win.
You know, we have the luxury of playing everybody. In the same breath, we played everybody pretty well. So it really comes down to, I think, anybody's ball game. The teams are so evenly matched up and down. You look at that top 8, I think any given night, any team can beat anybody. And again, that's kind of the stance you have to take. You know, the new season begins. It's the second season. It's really why, in a lot of ways, you play your regular season. So, you know, we have to take it one game at a time, is the old proverbial one game at a time, but be ready to go, and we're really looking forward to it.
Well, Coach, best of luck against Grand Valley State here on Saturday night, 6 o'clock down in Allendale, and looking forward to the conference tournament starting next week.
Hey, thanks, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.